Welcome to Its History. Today I'll tell you the story of Masada. This extraordinary stronghold was the last bastion of the Zealots, who in the clash with the Roman legions preferred to perish by their own hand than to end their lives as slaves. But in order to fully understand their sacrifice, first we must find out a bit more about the Jewish war from the year 66 AD. It was a Jewish uprising which broke out against the Roman occupation, which we know from the Old Testament. The war started in Caesarea and quickly spread all over Judea. The insurgent units managed quite well in the beginning. They even managed to defeat the Roman Legion 12. All in all, however, the aftermath of the uprising turned out to be tragic. The famous temple in Jerusalem was destroyed, and the historians count the casualties in tens and even hundreds of thousands. The Zealots were one of the insurgent splinter groups completely devoted to the cause, hating both the Romans and their collaborators. Soldiers who considered surrendering equal to renouncing God. However, in spite of their great devotion, they were far from pious. The Sicarii, as one fraction was called, was also known as the dagger wielders, and was characterized by exceptional viciousness. In order to sustain their control of the stronghold and to get food, they would plunder villages like Engadi, for instance, where 700 inhabitants fell victim to their swords. Possibly many Jews among them. The Zealots made it to Masada in the year 66, but the keep had been built 100 years earlier on the orders of Herod the Great. Situated in the mountains, exceptionally hard to conquer, the keep was additionally surrounded by a wall and equipped with water tanks and huge granaries. The self-sufficient Masada could effortlessly withstand long months of siege, something the Romans were soon about to find out. After the fall of Jerusalem, many refugees joined the Sicarii, hiding in the mountain keep, and this was one of the last 3 places resisting the Romans. In the year 72, Flavius Silva, the governor of Judea, marched for Masada. Against 960 defenders, he sent the Legion 10, supported by war captives, altogether about 15,000 men, among them 9,000 soldiers. Masada's natural fortifications and the narrow path, leading a couple of hundred meters to the top of the mountain, made the attack impossible. With the help of rocks cast down from the top, the Zealots decimated the legionaries. There was no possibility for the defenders to surrender out of hunger either. As the Romans could not find any safe passage to the citadel, they decided to build it themselves. For months they would erect a gigantic ramp which they used to move siege machines forward. With the laying of every stone, the terrain started assuming the shape favorable for the Romans. More or less during the 3rd month of the siege, they managed to breach the wall on the mountain's summit. The Zealots quickly covered the opening with a wooden barricade. At that time, however, it was clear that the end was near. The commander of the Sicarii, Eleazar ben Yair, did not... The commander of the Sicarii, Eleazar ben Yair... The commander of the Sicarii, Eleazar ben Yair... The commander of the Sicarii, Eleazar ben Yair... The commander of the Sicarii, Eleazar ben Yair, did not want to die as a slave. He knew what awaited the defenders of the keep: death, slavery, and disgrace. On the last night, he gathered the defenders of Masada and spoke. "Long ago, valiant men, we made a decision that we would neither serve the Romans nor anyone else but God himself. For he and he only is the true and just ruler of men. And now the time has come that demands the confirmation of this conviction with deeds. May we not cover ourselves with shame during this time of trial. Before, we did not want to carry the shackles of slavery when it did not even mean danger. So would we now voluntarily consent not only to slavery, but severe revenge should we fall to the hands of the Romans alive? After all, it was us first who stood against them in battle, and now are the last to continue the struggle. I also believe that God gave us this favor to die a beautiful death as free people, which was not given to others forced to succumb against their hope. Although we know with all certainty that the keep shall fall when the day dawns, we still can choose a noble death for us and our loved ones." When on the next day the bloodthirsty Romans burnt down the barricade and stormed into the keep, they found empty walls. The 960 defenders of Masada had committed mass suicide, or rather killed one another, since in order to avoid the sin of taking one's own life, every man killed his wife and children first, and then his comrades by method of random draw. The only miraculous survivors were 2 women with 5 children who had hidden in a duct. Until this day, the defenders of Masada are the symbol of valor and patriotism, and Jewish soldiers swear that Masada will never fall for the 2nd time.